Hello everyone, it's Mystic Juicer back with some more Yomi action, and it is a new tournament. I can't remember the name of the title right now. Check the description of the video. First round action between ExSeth and Ping Warrior. Both of these are fairly new players in the online scene. ExSeth just recently won the All Quints event. Ooh! And just almost got hit by the A Lameo. You'll note the complete absence of the A there. It would have appeared had he lost to that. Okay, yes, ExSeth going back to the 7 technology here. It's going to be oppressing Zane with the 7 spin. Bit of a difficult card for Zane to deal with if he is out of 2 3s and 6s. This will be big damage, but not Moral Mountain or Moral High Ground big damage. Ping Warrior has astutely denied his opponent the benefit of Moral High Ground. Not sure. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I guess this is pretty oppressive, right? You can't. Yeah, so it forces Ping Warrior not to play an attack to defend himself. Although, honestly, I don't think the 4 is really necessary there. I think you play the 7 anyway if you get hit by an attack. No, actually, yeah. I guess against Zane, you know, he can deal enough damage off of a random hit that you want to discourage it from happening. Ooh, and Ping Warrior, yeah, just perhaps not recognizing that ExSeth is not scared at all of getting tossed. Ping Warrior not putting any attacks on the board here. Yeah, and ExSeth just continuing to pummel. And there, finally, the card that Ping Warrior was looking for that whole time at last shows up. Yup. Can't argue with that comment. Luckily, it's not going to lead to lethal, but see what happens here. Yeah. Oh, gets undercut, gets hit with the footsies, and this should lead into death. Yeah, there we go. So either top deck the 3, yeah, probably top deck the 3, and then got the king off of the normal draw. Okay, Ping Warrior sticking as Zane. But we weren't. This is a first to 4 standard counterpick tournament. Rules apply, so loser can switch. Can choose to switch their character. Winner of each game is stuck on whatever character they are currently playing. And ExSeth going in with the first turn 10 throw. Ping Warrior trying to set up some block until anarchy action here. ExSeth going rather low on cards though. 5-card hand as De Grey. If Ping Warrior lets himself... Okay. Ping Warrior lets himself lose a couple more combats to throw, or 1 more combat to throw to a big throw combo. That would be a very strategic combat win. I'm actually not too pleased, I think, with the 666 power-up. 6s are a pretty good neutral button against De Grey, at undercutting 7 notably, and also undercutting his own 6s. But they're also really crucial for even cross-ups. So hopefully Ping Warrior exploits this this position that he's in by throwing more often on knockdown. As ExSeth should feel pretty comfortable blocking odd in all knockdown cross-up situations for the rest of this match. Ooh, yeah, Ping Warrior out of good attacks, playing the queen to try to get around 7s and exploit the gap or the fact that De Grey does not have a 4 attack. So if he's going to be leading with a 5, that queen would undercut quite nicely. This is going to, or this should indicate to ExSeth that Ping Warrior does not have any 2s or 3s in hand, and could even indicate that Ping Warrior doesn't have any blocks, because you would almost certainly want to block instead of, yeah, this feels like no block hand for Ping Warrior. Okay, flipping a 2 and a 5, which are very good neutral cards, so unfortunate shenanigans there. Does he have all 4 aces? No, he does not. If he did, I think playing them there would probably be fine. A 2-card Zane hand with a big life lead like that is fine. Okay, finally gets a block in hand. Goes back to plan A, which is Anarchy. Or rather, plan B, which is block until Anarchy. Oh, okay, no, so he had some blocks in hand. Now gets the... Okay, now it feels like he probably has all 4 aces. He's powered up for 2, now 3. And he may have been blocking, or he may have been dodging there to fish for the 4th ace off of shenanigans, which is kind of cheeky, but I like it. I mean, you can also get, you know, a good flip off of a king or a jack to get the knockdown pressure going. ExSeth playing king there. Notably, I mean, in any matchup, Anarchy is the fastest move in the game. Oh, there we go. So waited 1 turn too long. Disrespected Anarchy just enough for Ping Warrior to think that he did not believe that he had it. A little bit of salt, a little bit of salt coming up from Ping Warrior here, and ExSeth adding insult to injury with the moral high ground, single damage off the king. Big life lead, Ping Warrior in a really rough spot here. I would probably play like 2s, 3s, or queens here if I was Ping Warrior, because it's very likely. Ooh, okay. Well, he gets exploded anyway, and I would have died as well. But I was expecting ExSeth to just play a bunch of 7s in a row if he had them, so he might not have had them. Ace-Ace is also pretty good. So nicely played so far by ExSeth. Very quick game 2. Ping Warrior might have been better set up in the mid game to exploit the fact that Anarchy was real and had a very high likelihood of being real to get more throws in. But so far has not really had a chance to... Ooh, and going to Lum, probably one of the most difficult matchups for this character in the cast, given that DeGray can dodge so freely. But maybe Ping Warrior's got the strats. Opening up with the 9 throw, immediately getting ace dodge. Yeah, the reverse counter pick here. See if he can make it happen. Yeah, so bad matchup for Lum, again, because DeGray only has to have a pair in hand to get cards that he needs, like a single ace in hand, to turn into a single ace, which you can then use to dodge pretty much constantly. Lum has pretty bad throws in terms of card efficiency to damage. Nice dodge on Ping Warrior's side here. I don't know how much he's going to get off of this. Maybe he's got another 9 throw. Could go for kings or jacks. No, goes for the 8 throw instead. Okay, flips a 7, gets the knockdown, takes the ace dodge out of contention at least. So here, Lum has a good setup off of the pressure of jack as a really strong combo starter to get kind of a cross-up thing going. Wow, reads the king though, or some sort of wake-up nonsense. Gets the blackjack, 10, good setup. Oh, the 20. Yeah, working on them Lum perfects. Okay, I was about to say, like, is this like secret Lum god here? because I thought he had flipped all 3 hearts into his discard pile as well. I was like, oh god, how? It's Yugi. Nice. Yeah, Lum's Queen slightly outspeeds De Grey's here. 8 damage and a flip. Oh, unfortunate. Rip the dream. Not a perfect, yeah. Fraurolo knows what's up. Nice. ExSeth really keen on counterpunching these. Wow, and the flips are insane. Yeah, ExSeth is really keen on counterpunching some throws from Ping Warrior, and Ping Warrior, he got just enough in his head by playing that 1-9 throw, and it's just been correct for ever since. All right, gets the Jack victory. Can turn this into a combo, but probably doesn't have too much in hand yet. So goes for 8 damage. Another roll of the dice. Okay, probably the least relevant of the flips in this matchup in particular, because De Grey is generally just slower at everything anyway. Yeah, in this position, I definitely block as Ping Warrior. Absolutely no reason to give him extra health, and absolutely no reason to lose to anything except a throw. This could lead to some good damage, and De Grey is going to make a bit of a comeback here, especially if he's got a Jack. Yeah, so it's going to be okay damage off of a throw, but nothing that Ping Warrior wouldn't be happy to take. I'm a little surprised. He's playing this very aggressively, dodging there instead of blocking. He has a 6-card hand, unless he's got very specific cards. Oh, and gets the 9 throw again, just when you thought it was gone forever. No, it's back. Oh, he's committing? He commits and takes the victory, the full unnecessary pump. Oh, okay, no, it was necessary. That was amazing. Big claps to Ping Warrior for the for believing in the Lum counter pick. God damn, that's hype. Okay, ExSeth switching, the merciless ExSeth switching to another Lum counter pick. Same logic applies. You don't have as fast a move. You don't have a DP as Argagarg in the same way that you do with De Grey, in the sense that the fastest move that Argagarg has is his double aces, which are also 0.2 speed, but they cost 2 aces, so they're a little bit more expensive that way. And whereas De Grey has the king at 0.2 speed, so he's got that as an option, and then also has his double ace, which can contend. I can't remember if it's 1.2 speed or 1.4, but it either beats or it ties with Lum's Jack and trades quite favorably if it does. Don't give in, Fraurolo. You gotta cheer for Ping Warrior here. Down 1 now, after that incredible performance in in game 3. But yeah, the logic's the same kind of strength that De Grey has, in that his single ace has a defensive option that he can spam, a recurring defensive option, so long as he doesn't get thrown. Same concept applies here. And it has the added benefit of if ExSeth does win combat with it, with Bubble Shield, he's going to be in a position where he can play in such a way that Lum has to spend another throw in order to win combat and deal no damage, and then he's just lower on throws and has even less likely chance to close out the game and successfully win. Lum has, let's just confirm real quick, I believe, yeah, 4 ranks of throws. He's typically going to, or he's probably typically going to play the 10s for their ability rather than as a throw, which becomes tricky in this matchup because Argagard has a counter as well, so it's not guaranteed out of combat damage the same way that it is in other matchups. So yeah, just a lot about this makes it tricky. ExSeth playing a pretty aggressive range, it seems like. He's mostly been attacking. Ping Warrior has mostly been dodging and throwing. Not a huge fan of building a hand. Just wants to get that damage in as quickly as he can. Perhaps knows something about the matchup, about how to play the matchup. You've got to play it quickly. Unfortunately, walks right into Bubble Shield there. And I think that's kind of the typical mix-up on a what is that thing called? On a protective ward turn, because it turns every option perfectly safe. Wow, Ping Warrior just with the worst Joker luck with Lum. Flipping it off, roll the dice in the first game, and now taking ping damage, jackpot damage off of it. But yeah, because you have basically a turn where you're completely safe, you can't be comboed. Lum does not have particularly scary burst damage except off of his aces. You can very easily play a throw, because if you lose to an attack, generally the most terrifying option in the game to lose to, you're not going to be suffering all that much unless it's a very specific attack. Therefore, people will more often throw in that position as Argagard, and therefore you do have to occasionally push an attack button, and that just means that the second part of the mix-up is just a block. So big damage there, duffing throws. Ping Warrior definitely, I feel like, in the same place that I am when I'm facing Argagard, where I basically never want to push the attack button, and that lets Argagard get away with a lot of stuff and nonsense. You just cannot play an attackless range against him. Going again for the 7, looking for that ace, and ExSeth very wisely not countering any of these 7s, totally willing to let him take a random chance at getting some damage, and favoring saving the counters for exactly that, for the Poker Flourishes. So these counters will not permanently remove Poker Flourish from Lum's deck. They do put them on the bottom of his deck, but it does mean that you're less and less likely to be able to find them and play them. Does get one off here, so he's got a chance to make this closer, see what kind of options he flips. He's got to be wary of, okay, nice, probably going to take 15 damage. He hasn't flipped a tremendous, well, he's flipped all right, but he's still got a lot of face cards swimming around in that deck. And not too many low cards either, so all his 5s are gone, lots of 2s and 4s. Not a good place to get hype. Okay, hits him with the 6, can't really follow this up, might play 1. We know that there are 2 aces in that 3-card hand, or 2 aces in that 5-card hand, so he's got 4 other cards rotating around in there. Okay, still hitting him with them throws, getting those wins where he can. That is, I believe, the other ace that was revealed. Let's see how he's doing throw-wise. He's got 2, 3, 4, got 7 throws left. ExSeth actually going in on a throw here, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Yeah, okay, he had Joker backup. That makes a lot of sense. In retrospect, you can take the risk out of that option. Yeah, using roll of the dice. I would actually be really scared of using roll of the dice in Ping Warrior's position, because I'm terrified of not having enough throw damage to kill Argagard. If ExSeth goes, like, not from knockdown, You probably want to try to block correctly. Okay, gets him with the throw. But yeah, I would be blocking a huge amount of the time now. Just because that's the last 8. So there are 2 6s left, and he's only at 25 hit points. So he does have to be wary of losing to throw. But yeah, playing a lot of blodging from ExSeth probably means he doesn't have aces in hand unless he's got 2 and he's going to spend them there. Nope, chooses not to. He's getting some damage in. If he has double ace, I would play it now. Nope, play single ace. Nicely done. And this is, as ExSeth, I think you block 100% of the time until Ping Warrior throws you with this setup. Oh man, gets rid of the Joker. Additional chip damage. That luck though. Curse the RNG. Live by the RNG, die by the RNG. Okay. Very even life totals, but this is not an even match. Yeah, ExSeth should be mashing blodge for the rest of the game. And yeah, dodging now is super good. Even a throw is going to deal 10 damage, so is going to accelerate the timer clock. Okay, out of dodges, I would expect. And yeah, ExSeth playing this textbook ARG versus Lum late game here. Make every throw cost as much as possible, and then put him in a position where he mathematically almost cannot win unless he's got exactly the card. Yeah, he's not coming out of this shell, and Ping Warrior is unfortunately just not recognizing it fast enough, I think, to be able to come back into this, especially given that he cannot knock down. Let's see. You deal damage or block damage. Yeah, it's with an attack. So he can't even get roll of the dice to knock down off of throws. Yeah, given... I'm almost wondering if powering up for aces in this position is a mistake. And the reason is it might... Like, right now, Ping Warrior may not know that he is... I'm really surprised to see this queen. I guess he expected the power up for ace to maybe clue Ping Warrior into the fact that he had to be in a position to throw. But it looks like Ping Warrior either just, missed that part of it or actually expected the countermeasure of like, oh, okay, you powered up for ace. That means you're expecting me to throw, so I can catch it with this dodge. And what did he hit him with? Comes into 6 attack. Oh, comes into 6 attack. No, that's no good. Can't play anything with a throw on it. Okay, recognizing the setup there. So just probably took him slightly too long to recognize that ExSeth knew what was up and was going to play the hyper-conservative mathematical line of I'm going to block forever and just assume you don't have the throws or are unwilling to play them. So Ping Warrior's sticking in the matchup. ExSeth on match point, 3-1. The other thing that makes this kind of thing difficult is you may, like, if I'm playing against an opponent that I'm used to playing against, like if Ping Warrior, had experience playing against, for instance, Frau Rolo and knew that Frau Rolo is an experienced player, you might just assume that they're going for that setup, right? And then the mix-up becomes, oh, okay, the super conservative thing to do is assume that I don't, or take a bet on the fact that I've spent so many throws already, I might not even have enough to close out the game, and therefore they're going to play hyper blodge, like blodge range, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, some massive percent of the time, because they know that I can't punish it, and I don't like these dodges into high normals at all. And in fact, I don't like the lack of blocking because it's putting him in a position where he's at the mercy of his top decking and making these kind of setups more likely. But in a case where I'm playing an opponent for the first time, like a new opponent in the scene that I haven't seen around online, I have no idea what their experience is like. I don't know if they're like a QM warrior from way back when. They've got tons of Yomi experience, or there's a local scene that they're plugged into, and they've played a ton of one-on-one games, in real life against other experienced players in real life, and they just happen to have discovered the community fairly recently, and so they would know that setup. Or you just assume like, oh, okay, it's a player I don't really recognize, therefore I'm going to assume that I'm going to play kind of a mixed range again, I'm going to try to play against somebody who doesn't appear to know what they're doing, or an inexperienced play style, where you can afford to make you can afford to play a more varied, there's different kinds of gambits that you can take. Against very, very new players, for instance, I highly recommend just blocking like 80% of the time in the early game, because new players tend to play rock, paper, scissors, right? They'll try this option and they'll feel like they need to try this option. They'll play to win rock, paper, scissors, whereas later on you're playing much more to your hand. So and that lets you and your opponent, once you both have that kind of experience, make assumptions and better, more accurate guesses about the kinds of things that are likely to happen at any given moment. In any case, so that can complicate things, right? You can be an experienced player and just play a strategy that is inappropriate for your opponent because you don't know them, and therefore you make a wrong call about the amount of experience they have, their awareness of the game, and the various outs and different niche situations that can happen in various matchups. Especially polarized matchups like Lum versus Argagarg have these edge cases where, okay, now I know that in the late game with so many hit points remaining and so many throws in the discard, so many Lum throws in the discard, this kind of strategy is overwhelmingly high probability to let me take the game. Anyway, all that being said, Ping Warrior's not out of it yet. He's keeping things fairly even. He's still got that 8-card hand. See how he's doing on throws. I was saying, like, I don't like the combo into the 8, or basically any large attack that has a throw on it. You basically can't afford to play unless it's in a big attack combo, right? If you want to spend an 8, spend it, or a 6, spend it in like Jack 6, 7, 8. When you feel like especially if they've already got a Joker in the discard, because you have a better odds that you're actually going to be able to convert that very precious resource, which is Lum throws, into guaranteed damage. So 6 throws coming out. Gets the combat win and gets an ace off the table, which is good. If that had gotten a normal block, probably a combat loss overall. Ooh, tries to fill his hand with aces. Instead hits a normal block. I think that's fair. Ping Warrior has not played particularly turtley, which is definitely a Lum approach. So gold bursting actually makes perfect sense there, and is actually pretty good in that kind of a mixed range where you're dodging a lot, blocking a lot, dodging, blocking, throwing, attacking, kind of in mostly even proportion, because then as your opponent you're going, okay, well, how am I going to beat that? I'm going to play largely my fast attacks when I have them to minimize, to maximize the amount of tiebreakers I can get, that sort of thing. And then gold burst is quite effective against at beating that kind of strategy. So keeping it even, gets that 9 damage in. Nice, finds another 9 throw, keeps the damage coming. Really can't afford to pump these, and I'm glad he's recognizing that. He's got to keep enough fuel in the tank to be able to close things out. That's nice to see. Forces ExSeth to power up with some 10s. So less 10s in the deck means more opportunities to get 10s, to use 10s for their intended purpose, which is guaranteed out of combat damage. Ooh, goes for the big damage. Do we have Joker on deck? Ah, unfortunate. So I believe at least 2 of those aces were known. So very high likelihood, if ExSeth had the Joker and was paying attention, that he would play it there as an effort not to get blown up, because I believe that was the first successful dodge kind of in a while. And now Ping Warrior is on a very low hand. Yeah, seeing very conservative king, not fast attacks, because Arg doesn't really have fast attacks in this matchup compared to Queen, Jack on Lum's side, but stuff that's not going to lose to options that are only going to give him strategic loss, or that are not going to give him strategic losses. So strategic losses being losses that are going to get Ping Warrior back in the game. So if you lose King reveal to a Jack with a 4-card, 4-card in hand Lum, you're probably not going to be taking all that much damage. Loses the 10th row clash to the 7th row, and we are once again in a situation where ExSeth can... Well, here you probably just play an attack. Ping Warrior has been pretty aggressive from this position, yeah. And so closing things out makes a lot of sense. And that is it. Game, set, and match. 4-1 for ExSeth. Nicely played. Not a bad game for Ping Warrior, but definitely some inexperience there. I think ExSeth is, I would call him the better player so far, based on what I've seen. But I'm excited to see some new blood, and hopefully I'm looking forward to seeing how Ping Warrior improves as the season continues. So thanks everybody for watching. Congrats to ExSeth for the first win in the tournament. And if you would like to get involved, obviously this tournament is closed. Signups are still open for the 19XX tournament that I am running over on Serlin Games. Link in the description below. Come check that out if you want to play. And it's kind of a different format tournament, some banned characters in it. And yeah, until next time, enjoy yourself some Yomi. Thanks for watching.